Hello everybody, yes, me, GhostCritic, back from his holidays and with a kind of one-shot review for something I picked up while I was on holiday. Something that Wasted Potential 616 said I should go out and pick up. He really enjoyed this issue. Obviously you know what it is already from the title. It is X-Men Schism. As you can see, this is the variant edition. I don't usually buy variant editions. This is all they had left on the shelf, and a white bit of card with X-Men Schism doesn't count as a variant edition in my book. What a waste. They could have put a really nice cover on there, but for some reason they're doing it with quite a few I saw on the shelf. Don't know the reason why, but hey, let's get back onto the review. X-Men Schism. This is the whole X-Men event that's going to have Cyclops and Wolverine running their own teams, and it's been suggested they will be kind of opposing teams, different views of how the X-Men should be running by all accounts. And I mean, just reading the first couple of pages, no wonder Wolverine wants his own team. I mean, he comes back covered from some sort of battle somewhere, covered in arrows and kind of those ninja shooting star things stuck in his skin, and you know, Iceman's just sat there on the beach, you know, gazing at the sunset, having a lovely time. There's something not quite right there. Then you've got his teaching duties. He gets trotted out as, you know, an Avenger to make Cyclops's speech have more gravitas. And I mean, this guy doesn't even get to sleep for 5 minutes. You know, I wouldn't want to be on Cyclops' team with all this going on. And you know, basically Cyclops is a douche anyway. So, the first issue, it deals with Cyclops, who's addressing this International Arms Control Conference, going, oh, we're X-Men, you've hated us for so long, you've had all these Sentinels, give them up. And I'm just like, oh, stop your whining. He's just such a boring character. I really find Cyclops quite dull, should never be a leader of the team. He kind of goes from one extreme to the other. There's no kind of middle ground with Cyclops. And either way, however his character is written, it's always pretty bland and pretty dull and boring. It did kind of remind me, this whole addressing this conference, of the very first X-Men, when Jean Grey was addressing this whole conference type thing right at the very start of the first movie. But as usual, things don't really go their way. You know, he's trying to say a good thing, I suppose, you know, give up your Sentinels. Give us X-Men, you know, a chance. We've had it rough for so long. And then, of course, Kid Omega comes in, Quentin Quire. Great use of this character, I thought, given that we've not seen him since, well, his creation, really, by Grant Morrison and Frank Quitely, back in New X-Men issue 122, I found out. I have it, so I know. Basically, Quentin Quire was, when he was first used, he was basically a rebellious teen, and he got a group and got his gang all together and kind of started a revolution within the halls of Xavier's School for Gifted Children. Of course, it didn't go quite to plan, and he was locked away. And now he's made another appearance, and it was a nice nod to, you know, using characters from quite a while ago now. I think it's got to be at least, is it about 10 years? I think it might be. Anyway, he does this kind of telepathic, mind-jiggly thing with everyone in the conference, and it causes them to splurt out all their, you know, their deepest, darkest secrets, you know, their sex scandals, you know, they knock their wives about, etc, etc. And of course, here we go, Sentinels come out to quell well, basically a bit of an overkill really, given there's only like Wolverine and Cyclops there. But obviously, you know, they expected trouble, so Sentinels are, you know, chucked out. And then we get a little bit of a side story, or, you know, well, obviously not a side story, it's going to be a major part. We move over to this young kid, Cade Kilgore, child genius, and of course, given he's a child genius, he has to be evil. What do we find out in this first issue? Right, he murders his father, he becomes the Black King, and we find out he's plotted this, he released Quentin Quire from his prison to do this, you know, this bad thing at the conference. As far as I know, Cade Kilgore, this is his first appearance, so why he's got such a beef with X-Men, we don't know yet. An interesting addition to the Hellfire Club, maybe. We'll see how that goes. And then, I mean, this is what the end of it is, kind of what it's all about, really, or what this will happen, and the kind of character versus between Cyclops and Wolverine. They've really set Wolverine up right throughout this, really, as this kind of, well, not so much chilled out, but he's kinda, I guess. I mean, we have the whole him and his teenage girl fetish. Yes, he's got another one now. This, I think it was it Idri her name was, or Iddy. He gives her a nice doll, and he's, you know, he's being portraying as this sweet guy who, you know, he wants to look after, you know, those children that he's training. We've also always seen Wolverine having this kind of teenage girl sidekick. There was obviously Kitty Pryde, to some extent. There was Jubilee, and recently you've had kind of him looking after Armour, and Armour, you know, playing off Wolverine a great deal. So there we have him with his soft-hearted approach, and then we have Cyclops, who, like I said, he goes to this big extreme where, look, all this shit is happening around the world. I'm not gonna, you know, keep everyone away from this, and that's why let's hope watch the TV with all the Sentinels landing in all the capitals, etc. And Iddy, or Idri, whatever her name was, she gets it as well. This is Cyclops, you know, being blunt and forthright to the point, and say, look, this is the world we live in. We can't hide this from, you know, our students or X-Men or mutants around the world. They have to see all this. How this will transpire, well, we'll find out tomorrow, because X-Men Schism is out tomorrow, number 2. And I think I will pick it up. This was quite a fun read. Aaron, nice pacing with the story, some nice, you know, moments, the reveal of Quentin Quire, Kilgore becoming the Black Knight of the Hellfire Club, all really nicely meshed together, hopefully. I mean, Aaron does a good job when he does write, you know, these kind of eventy or long storylines. He does keep it very tight, very succinct, and, you know, very enjoyable to read. And Pacheco's art, he did a great job. It was very nice to look at, very detailed, just very pretty to look at, really. So yeah, thank you Wasted Potential 616 for giving me a little push towards this title. I'll pick up number 2 tomorrow. If it's still looking good, then this could be it could be the X-Men event for me. Whether it will keep me buying X-Men titles is another question. And that's it. Look out for a full review of this week's comics, which I'll be picking up tomorrow, sometime this week. Enjoy the rest of your week, guys. Take care. Bye.